It has always been a dream of mine to have my own library of books, enough to someday rival Belle's Library and Disney's Beauty and the Beast. A girl can dream. When I got back into reading voraciously a few years ago, I started with collecting my first love, historical romances. Thanks to library sales and thrift stores, for the most part, I was able to build my collection of old favorites, new discoveries, and all the beautiful clinch covers and stepbacks. However, my shelf space quickly filled up, and I may have gone a bit overboard. In 2025, the publishing industry announced it would no longer be printing the mass market paperback format, the primary format for historical romances. Sadly, amid other reasons, historical romances, once the trailblazer and shining star of romance for decades, has now been dwindling, at least with traditional publishing. Many authors are turning to other subgenres like romantasy or going indie. But I refuse to give up. I am determined to find old and new favorites. Instead of just collecting and storing these beautiful historicals and fully embracing my book dragon ways throughout 2026 and beyond, I will be reading through my historical romance collection in this reading vlog series called HEA or History. At the beginning of every episode, I will select a book by using a TBR jar, spinner wheel, or any other myriad of challenges. Please join me as I go off on an adventure by reading through my entire historical romance collection. Who knows? Maybe we will discover that historical romances aren't quite history. Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Crystal. Welcome to the episode 2 of HEA or History. Now I am currently, this is the second time filming this intro because I realized in editing that I must have deleted the original intro clip because I did actually do it on time this time. So here we are refilming this again, so hopefully I can remember exactly how that went. But essentially for this episode that I filmed in May is I read all the historical romance books that I own. I kind of took a little bit of more of a spinner wheel approach in anticipation and in celebration of the Afterathon that occurred in May that I created and had a co-host for, and I will link that video down below. Now, the only book that I know for sure that I wanted to read for the readathon was the Lady Isabella's Scandalous Marriage by Jennifer Ashley, and this was the team book for the Artist book, which had a second chance as, well no, actually a marriage in trouble as part of one of the tropes. So yeah, I'll put there. I was in, as I always do as well for these readathons that I host, honestly I don't join a team, so I just try to mood read as much as possible, but try to make a selection that's geared towards my geared towards a team, so I could be able to give that team that points for the readathon. And so yeah, I don't remember exactly how I had so many so I had so many books that I wanted to read for this month. I think I will put my May TBR down below as well, but I had at least 16 options that I was super excited about. And so we'll see that whole journey, and we'll find out at the end how many books I was able to get of actual historical romances books there. The goal as always in these HEA or history is going to be at least, my goal is 5, but at least a minimum of 3, just because of time and life, and I'm finding this time of life I'm not reading as much, or just reading a little less of the books, either, just taking my time and just the way life is. So at most in every month I'm reading about 6 to 8 books at this current time. The artist, it's been a while now. I am filming this in late June because of everything that happened. We also have the Big Ohio Book Con that was happening early June, so this is slightly delayed because of that. But I do have my May birthday haul, and I know I'll have my Ohio BookCon haul to go through and vlog for that. So you guys got at least another vlog coming very, very soon to you as part of that, so you can stick around for that. Let me know down below. I will also mention this at the end of the vlog, but I'm leaving to episode 3 to be what do the subscribers want. So subscribers pick on what you want me to do, whether that is a specific author, specific series, or whatnot that I own, my physical TBR here and my historical romances, or if you just want me to choose a spinner wheel, whatever the theme will be, that is up to you. So I endeavor for your feedback to put that in the comments down below, and I will have all the links that you need for anything of my Goodreads, my Instagram, all that jazz. I will link that down below. So the first book, as I mentioned, is going to be Lady Isabella Scandalous Marriage by Jennifer Ashley, and really excited about this one. And I really enjoy a marriage in trouble. Second chance, it's one of my favorite tropes, and specifically marriage in trouble, especially when it's done very well, is always a love of mine, and I enjoyed the first one of Jennifer Ashley. But yeah, before I give you all to the next clip, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can notify every time I post, and you get to see the next clip on my progress for this book. Okay, quick update. Did it again. I am literally like almost 75%, I think, through this. I can't put this down. It's so good. I love this. Chapter 10 was pretty impactful and emotional. It definitely made me tear up, because you find out their root cause of everything, of why they're separating. What I like about this is like you can feel the tension and the angst and the yearning. Oh my gosh, Mac is just so determined to prove himself to her, to get her back in such a very healthy, like, dominant way, but not like overtaking her. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, not so obsessive that it's not what she wants. He does a little bit something against her permission, but that leads to a deeper conversation that I just read. But I like that we're not getting every second like a flashback or anything. It's kind of, you get a lot of their history through them just thinking about it, and they're feeling as they're feeling today as well. I mean, that opening scene, her going while he's painting a woman posing for him, so that was very intense. Oh my gosh, that just, they're both, their feelings of everything, you know, they love each other, and they're, you know, there's true problems that they had to work through. So really enjoyed it. So far, I'm just so loving this. But chapter 10, sorry, my thoughts are really scattered right now, but chapter 10 was really good, and just heartbreaking. Gonna tear, because, you know, it's something that women can struggle with and things like that. So it kind of just yeah, I get it, that whole thing. So but yeah, this is just, I think Jennifer Ashley is like a new favorite author to me. I just don't know how else to say it, because I am definitely loving the series so much. I have the first 4, and I think the second half of like the books continuing after, I think, are like another generation. But I don't know. How am I gonna stop reading the series during this readathon? How? I'm gonna have to, but how? Because there are other books that I'm really excited to read too as well, but this is the problem. It's a great problem to have, but I am just really enjoying it right now. And I'm excited to see how this mystery plot is going. There is someone pretending to be him and trying to forging his oh gosh, what do you call it? Forging his signatures on, and painting things that's not his and that. So it's interesting to see how that's developing. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm sure I'll have better thoughts after I finish this. But yeah, I have 75%. I'll hopefully be able to finish it tonight. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so it is now almost a week. Oh goodness, oh gosh, yeah, probably a little over a week since I last updated you. So it is now Thursday, about a week later. It's just been crazy, guys. There's a lot of background work, as you know, as I probably mentioned, with running a readathon, but also I am in search of a new car and that whole thing, and just, job working and things like that. But a new car because of the hailstorms that were running through Ohio, so I have to get a new car now because my car was totaled. So that's been a thing, having to car shop online and things like that. So hopefully this weekend we'll be getting a new car. But it is what it is. So, yes, let's stay on topic. What was I going to talk about? Yes, update on my reading. So I finished Lady Isabella's Scandalous Marriage. This was a 5-star. I am loving Jennifer Ashley's writing. I just love it. It wasn't a total favorite, so it's not like a 6-star, but 5 stars it's still amazing. I just loved how Mac was just so gone for her. The only thing I didn't really like, why I wasn't actually a favorite, is the side mystery plot. There seemed to be a lot going on. I think the relationship between them had enough foundation for the plot and the romance to really go between. They could have worked that well more to make it even more angstier with that, because their marriage problems were normal but also very legitimate, and it's not any bonkers plot or anything, but it's very real and something that's really, really great to see. And it's just what a lot of couples face, not only the personal thing that they had gone through, but also just in how they relate to each other. The Max, and how they deal with not only that, but also just how they relate to each other and communicate with things, and just in general. On top of, with that all going as well, could also start building resentment and things. But on top of Max drinking, alcoholism here as well. So I just really adored this. Great for an artist, the painting artist, Mailman Hero. Just absolutely adored it. But yeah, I'm excited to try the next one. I don't know if maybe when I will read the next one in this series, but I am looking forward to doing that. Because I want to read all the books, but I don't have all the time to read all the books that I want to read. So we'll see if I can binge that here soon. The other one I read, as you saw, I will insert a clip here. I went and did a spinner wheel, because this is what I was starting out the readathon with, but I also wanted to find a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So I will insert a clip here. So Beauty and the Beast retelling, but I'm realizing that it's not a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I thought I did because that's the name Beauty in the title, but it does match the professor team very well. And unfortunately doesn't have a professor name, but it's an academic hero. He's a naturalist and everything. And that is Beguiling the Beauty by Sherry Thomas. It's also a BIPOC author. So excited to read this one, and I enjoyed it. I read it very, very quickly. I think I finished it Monday night. So yeah, I really read it very quickly. Either Monday or Tuesday, but it was like literally overnight. I finished this on Friday, started this on Friday, finished it on I think Monday. So fairly quickly that I finished it. Really enjoyed it, and it was so good. It was a 4-star though. I think the reason why it is so short, like surprisingly, it's like only like 200 and like barely 300 pages at that. I think it's like 260, barely over the 250 mark. And I think it suffered because of that, so there wasn't a lot of things that could have been fleshed out. The best part that I enjoyed was the traveling together overseas. A lot of hate to love here. He just resents her beauty, like he's like love at first sight or lust at first sight for her. And she was judged because of her beauty. She had 2 husbands before. Her first husband was abusive and whatnot, and he's the one that was talking to the hero when he was younger. And ever since then, the whole thing. And then a year later, she remarried, and that person passed away as well. But she was really just as a wife, as a cover for her husband's lover. You know, he was part of the LGBTQ community. So, enjoyed it. So she kind of like had a hidden identity, so she pretends, she basically wears a veil when she's traveling. He was lecturing at the Harvard Academy about, you know, behavior and things like that, and naturalist, and he inadvertently kind of speaks about her in kind of in a way he does, is like very insulting and puts her reputation at risk, and like saying how, you know, maybe she killed her husband basically in that kind of way. But lo and behold, she was in there. Her and her sisters were there attending, and then someone else from England also heard it as well, some gossip mongers, but she doesn't know that at the time. So she planned basically to change her plan, and she was just so angry, so she got her revenge and joined the ship that he was taking to go back to England. And of course, he's attracted to her even through the veil, and they kind of begin a love affair on the ship. And then of course they separate their ways, and it's all about them kind of almost like a Cinderella like hidden identity thing, trying to find who the person was. She pretends to be like some German baroness on the ship, and so because she can actually speak German and everything like that, so and she actually did that inadvertently because she was really nervous. But it was kind of weird. I didn't really like the hero that much a bit, because he was very surface level with her beauty. There's a lot of commentary, I think, on that as well, but it was just very annoying. And they end up inadvertently having to do a marriage of convenience as well at one point, because of the gossip and things like that. So I don't know, it was very rushed together. So that was one thing I didn't like about it. So I'm going to be, now that I read that, I'm currently reading The Mansfield Park for Jane Austen for the Jane Austen read-along, by Jane Austen for the Jane Austen read-along. It's a slog. I hadn't had time at all really to read this week. Once I finished that on Monday, I haven't had any time. Finished it Monday morning. I haven't had any time to really sit down and read that much. I'm also just very exhausted. There's a lot of, like, it's at the end of the school year, so my son had his band concert, and then there were some other things I think that's going on. It's just been a lot, going really busy, and then I've been so exhausted going to bed really early, or as early as possible, but really just spending some time with my husband. We were watching some travel van things on YouTube. It's been kind of fun to to explore, because, you know, we're not going to be able to afford to travel anytime soon right now. They just travel around the US or wherever they go. But yeah, that's just how it is right now. But that was like, it's really fun. The person that we follow, also video games and things like that. So it's been really fun to kind of just do that together as a couple. We very rarely watch things together. And it's been nice to actually spend time together and watch a show together, because he's gaming and I'm reading, which is not a bad thing at all. But it's nice to every now and then at least do something together, instead of just being in the same room doing different things, that we're actually together that way. But yeah, I was also starting an audio arc before the Jane Austen one, of a NetGalley arc of like toe to toe. It's like a contemporary romance that I was trying to ironically do audiobook because I wasn't enjoying the ebook, so I couldn't really, my head just not grasping a lot of I don't know if it's me or what. Besides everything else that's required reading, it's kind of slumpy because I am also trying to read our book club book, which is the To Heist and to Hold by Christina Britton, because I know that is going to be coming up soon. Our live show for the Mansfield Park is this Saturday, the 16th. That's literally in just 2 days. It's going to be on my channel, and then I will link that down below by the time you see this. But and then our book club is at the 24th, and then soon after that I have the Palace of Rogues by Julianne Long read along that I'm doing for the Saturday after that. So I'm trying to hurry up and get these ones done. I don't know if To Heist to Hold, it might actually be DNF because just it's really slog. Mansfield Park, we'll see if I can finish it. I'm not really enjoying it. I did watch the adaptation movie, so I feel like I don't need to read it at this point because it is so boring. I am at the point of the theater play that they're talking about doing it, so hopefully get more interesting there, but it's definitely not my favorite Jane Austen. I'm finding that a lot, really, that I only really enjoyed Pride and Prejudice, and that was pretty much it. But we'll see. I'm hopeful that maybe I will enjoy Emma, which I think that is the next one that we'll be reading in July. But yeah, so that is where I'm at. So I want to get all those done. All that to say, I want to get those done because I want to do another spinner wheel and truly do a Beauty and the Beast selection. And to top it all off, oh my gosh, the weekend after my birthday, I think, yes, this is June 5th, whatever, there's the Big Ohio Book Con, and so I have to, I was never going to get any sort of time of getting this finished or any of the books read of some of the authors are going to be there, because this year it's the second annual installment, and there's going to be a lot of authors there that are big name authors. Like TJ Klune is going to be there, Mike Corland, who does a new release as well, is going to be there. Two of the authors, like Melissa K. Roark, are going to be there. But so I did read the first book in the Legacy series of that, but the second book has been a slog to get through, and I was trying to finish at least that. And I wanted to like her books. I just don't think they're for me, unfortunately. So I'm probably going to have to DNF. And truly, I'm thinking it might just be like, you truly do need to read the Lady of Darkness series before that one. Because even though the author says you don't need to, I feel like I do. Because I don't know if I just don't like the characters, or it's because I was missing some context on other things. Because the character from the first series, one of them does pop up and such. So I digress. I'm probably rambling so much. So I did pick up the new Mike Corland one. I think it's called Verity of Gods. It looks relatively short, so I picked it up from the library, and I would like to read at least that one to see if I like it, because I wanted to see if I would like it before I purchase it. Because, you know, with the new car, I'm trying to be as much as possible conservative in my book purchases. But, you know, there's a lot of new releases coming out in the fall, too, that I know I'm going to be purchasing, and I'm just trying to be, I know I have a book haul and an unhaul to be filming, so I'm sure that'll be coming either before or after this. So with that said, I still have things that I want to still buy, but I don't need to build my library anymore as part of what I was doing the past few years. So definitely now I'm at the curation stage, and I want to try to keep it as a reasonable level. Obviously the historical romances overshadow so many things. That's the other thing, is I am in the middle of reorganizing that as well. So I'm in a different layout here. We also rearranged my bedroom. So that'll be the last weekend, so that's also why I didn't get to do a lot. We full-on rearranged everything, cleaned in here. There's still a lot of things that I'm trying to figure out. So that's like another weekend stage. Hopefully maybe my birthday weekend, we'll see. First is getting a new car first. That's the biggest hurdle I want to get. So working through that, but I would love to be able to film in here sometimes, because it has this big window here that I can actually finally utilize, because our bed was like right here at the window. So excited to use this. So I'm it's nice to actually have daylight to use this natural light versus always filming by my book. So I will still do that, but especially when my kids are up or something, I can film back here, and when they're asleep or whatever, or not here, I can go film in front of my book. So that's the plan. So I am going to also try to reorganize. That's besides the new car. We can get the new car very, very soon. I'm hoping to do that Friday afternoon, just tomorrow. I'd like to do that before our live show on Jane Austen one. So for my that'd be my Saturday project, while I listen to the audiobook for Jane Austen to see how that works. And I'll film that, of course. But right now it's just the stages. Could be any books that were in storage that were in here, like all the books that I shared in my last video, sharing like my pile of shame. Everything has been shifted into there. I have my new bookcase, sofa bookcase and such, so it's going to be coming along. So excited for that. And yeah, but first I have to film the unhaul and then the book haul, so that way we can move those ones out and yeah, get those all posted on Pango and such that I'm going to be selling. So alright, so that's where I'm at. I will get back to you probably, hopefully Sunday. We'll see how that goes, where I can hopefully pick up another book for the spinner wheel, and we'll pick out a Beauty Beast one. And then after that, all I need to do is a spy one, which I think I might do the Cat Martin one if we're going to do spy one. And then it's just free reign, so hopefully I can fit more in besides the required reading. But that's the plan. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next clip. Bye. What? Nice. Really? Not a lot. That's cool. Aww. Cool. Nice. Pikachu's nighttime adventure? That's so cute. Okay, so my glasses are all weird. Alright, it is a Monday work from home day. As you're seeing this, I think I did total the results during my lunch, and we got all of the graphics and all that stuff all posted now after work here, and just right after I was done with work. So those totals right now, so the artist is leading the way. But yeah, so I picked up my pre-order for The Last Lady B, which is the readathon book, came in, and it came with this bookmark right there. I pre-ordered it as part of my birthday gift to myself kind of a thing. So yeah, that it's signed, and I literally started this Sunday. I haven't really had much of a weekend. Ironically, running a readathon, it's a lot of back-end stuff. But I started this late Sunday morning and finished it early this morning right before work. So really enjoyed it. It's very, it almost was going to be a 5-star, but unfortunately there were a couple of things that didn't work, but it was a 4-star. I highly enjoyed it. This is more of a gothic parody rom-com kind of style, and it really shows that. And the author had mentioned in the back that she was inspired by the Northanger Abbey, which is like a gothic parody as itself that Jane Austen had written. And I enjoyed this. It's the Last Lady B. She marries this very old 70-year-old lord named Burnsby, and she does it in order to save her sister so that way she could have a dowry, and that's how she negotiates it. She didn't feel any desire, any interest herself she didn't find anyone attractive, and they don't really have, her father, I think, is an earl, from my understanding. But but they just don't have funds, really. They really don't have any funds, so they are, I think, lords or whatever, or landed gentry at least. And so, sorry if you can hear my kids in the background. It's like my husband's finishing up dinner, so we're almost got a few seconds before we go do that. But this is very, I enjoyed it. She has a pet pig, and she discovers that, you know, goes to, she's been married for 7 months with Burnsby, and then everything has been fine for the most part. But then when they go to his Scottish, they call it a Scottish, I think it's like an abbey or whatever, it used to be an abbey, and, you know, there's ghosts, and, you know, there might be all of his other 3 wives that apparently he had before her, and, you know, supposedly maybe he murdered them, you know, the whole Bluebeard retelling. And I enjoyed it. It's consumable. It's highly addictive, especially the first 50%. It's really fun. There's a lot of drama. The dinner was a lot because she held no punches once it was revealed what that Burnsby had a mistress, basically. I'll try not to do any spoilers here, but yeah, Burnsby's mistress and that whole thing. And then the only other thing that really I'm finding, I don't know, this author's writing style has changed, and especially with this more modern writing that's kind of happening where it's historical light. It's mainly like a parody on historical romance, and I feel like that's in general, not just this being a gothic parody, but that one more rom-com feel. It's feeling a bit like it's losing the romance substance and also the historical substance as well. Like, it's nice to have these powerful or empowered women, but it doesn't feel realistic because it doesn't feel like it's within the times. And this one, at least it's within, you know, her power as her being a Lady Burnsby and that whole thing. But the asides, the author does break the fourth wall in here, and that's something I hated during the Persuasion adaptation that Netflix did, I think a year or so ago, and that drives me up the wall. It feels more fake. And especially when there's spicy scenes happening and then you're breaking the fourth wall, it's kind of gross. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the fourth wall. Like, sure, I want to be immersed in the story, and it doesn't become, the reason why it's weird and gross to me, because it doesn't become part of the couples, it becomes a part of the reader. And that's just a strange way to be implementing something in a book. Don't really enjoy that much. I wish, and sometimes the things that she's stating, a lot of the times is like every other paragraph that she's had these in parentheses, it's her aside to the reader. It wasn't necessary. Most of the time it was just restating what just happened, or be like kind of like inadvertently apologizing and such. It actually, it kind of comes across as, I don't know, it's a different writing style, and I don't want to be unkind, but it comes across as more immature, or like a writer that doesn't have the experience that Eloisa James is writing. And I don't know. I just don't know if I like that. The reason why this is a 4-star is because I loved the hijinks and the interactions, the whole house party theme, the cast of characters, the mystery plot was really good, and the heroine herself I really enjoyed as well. Godric, the hero, was great as well. I enjoyed him. I just don't like the fact that we're getting too surface level, and then their romance at the end, like when they finally kind of start getting more together, it felt kind of strange and surface level, and he fell a little bit too hard too quickly, where he becomes kind of like a welcome mat to her a little bit. It's just very, I like my men to simp, but not simp so hard that you're just like, that was way too easy kind of a thing. What the heck is going on? Plus the added thing of, you know, her being married, and I do apply the heroine and be like, hey, no, I'm married, and it was just strange. So he is also a solicitor. He's Burnsby's solicitor, Godric is, and you learn other things about that. But yeah, and you feel for the heroine and how she finds out and her hurt and things like that. But she quickly takes her power back in that whole thing. And other hijinks kind of arise. Some very heartbreaking things as well for one of the wives that you find out about. And Ophelia was so great. That is one of the, her, I would quote unquote, stepdaughter, whenever that was there. That's kind of hidden away by Burnsby. And he has an heir, his son, that comes from Paris with his new wife. So I enjoyed it overall. I just want more. This style, I haven't read Viscount in Love, but like her most recent book before this was Hardly a Gentleman, and that also felt very similar. Not in the writing style per se, but in as far as the writing of the romance and the surface level character part of it, which is not a bad idea if you're looking for a light rom-com romp kind of book. Or writing style, that's great, but if that's not what you're looking for and you think that's what all historical is, that is kind of where my pet peeve is, because now people think that is what historicals are, because that's where unfortunately the trending is, and maybe I'm just stuck in my ways and I don't want to move with the times. But I think that's why I find I might even want to push to go historical fiction, or I'm really looking forward to Lisa Kleypas's book, because I feel like I want more substance. And I don't know if Bridgerton is maybe part of that as to why that trend has gone. But yeah, I enjoyed it, but I just am leaving slightly unsatisfied at the same time. And because it didn't fully satisfy, so that's why it's a 4-star. Truly, I had a fun time. It's not, even knowing what I was going into, it still wasn't leaving me with a meaningful, like, romance at the end. It feels too cookie cutter, I think, is really what it boils down to. Alright, so enough about that. Yes, highly enjoyed that one. But now it's time to pick my next book. I don't know what I'm in the mood for. I do want to pick up a fantasy romance, and I do want to pick up The Shield of Sparrows. I've been wanting to read that. And then because next month I do want to read, probably do some rereads. Start with the Akatar series, or some of the Sarah J. Maas universe, because I really want to start doing that in preparation for the fall, because there's so many, like, anticipated fantasy romances that I'm reading that I want to get into. However, of course, I still want to read historical, so I just need to find the one that I'm wanting to read. Yeah, and then I also have other ones that I'm trying to read from fantasies, but just because of like indie and such. I do have the Big Ohio Book Con in the beginning of June, literally in like 2 weeks or so, 2.5 weeks. And so I'm really trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm not going to have any time to read anybody, unfortunately. But it is what it is at this point. Luckily, a few of them, of the big named authors, I've read before, and some that I had their book, but I haven't read it before. So at least be able to get that side, I guess. But yeah, so we're going to pivot, and I'm going to pick out my next book with the spinner wheel, since the Beguiling the Beauty was technically not a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It was a professor. It fit more of the academic hero, so it was really with the professor team. And I've already done the artist team. Yeah, so I counted this with the artist team because it had the house party, which was really prevalent, and they did have like a slight caretaking scene in this one too. Alright, so we're just going to do these ones. I forgot that we're doing I forget which vlog I'm doing. So these are what I own of Beauty and the Beast like retellings that I haven't read. Well, this one this will be a reread because it's one of my lists, because I want to reread it. It was my 6-star historical romance last year, but I want to do a reread so I can continue on, because that's just how I am. So yeah, we'll do it with those 4. And okay, how do I hit spin? Okay, I'll spin. Okay. Of course, it's going to be the reread. Alright, so we're going to do My Darling Deke. Wow, I can't how can I speak? My Darling Duke by Stacey Reed. I will probably also do this as an audiobook to correspond since I've already read it. But yes, we will start with My Darling Duke. We'll do that, and I will catch you when I next have an update. And hopefully it's not, it's not like when I finish the book. Oops. Wait. Oops. That and this. So yes, I finished it. Yeah, it is now 2 weeks from the close of the readathon. And I think I finished this, oh gosh, on my birthday? I don't even remember, guys. It's been such a whirlwind since the readathon. And literally a week after I had the big Ohio BookCon, and it's just been a whirlwind ever since with work and the end of school year and just getting everything. So yeah, I've just been yeah, I'm filming this on my lunch break and I don't even know where I left off. So this was a reread. Unfortunately I didn't read anything really else after this related to historical romance from my book collection. I did read the read-along book that I did with Tara for the Palace of Rogues series that we're doing a read-along for, but I don't own that. And so that was just my normal one that's going to have to be read. I will link that video down below if you want to know my thoughts on it. And then the other one is just, yeah, this was a reread. So this is 6 stars, obviously. So I absolutely love this. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. It's got the rendezvous twist as well. It's really sweet in here. Caretaking. And just overall, it had like a bit of like a fake engagement almost, but it's just overall really good and just absolutely amazing. And I really enjoyed having a reread, so I can continue on to the next one eventually whenever I do read historical romance. So that will be next. Because like this whole month of June, I've just been reading a lot of fantasy or just kind of following my mood to try to read as things that I really want to enjoy. Not necessarily having a set TBR besides the book club book and the read-along book. So just whatever whim that takes me on. And so yeah, so Team Artist won, but as far as total points, Team Beast would have won. So I will link that the closing live show down below for you guys to see all the results and our chatting about that. But yeah, I just this was a really good readathon, and I'm hoping for next year. Unfortunately, it didn't feel like for me that I got to enjoy much because, you know, being the behind the scenes, there's a lot more work involved and such. So I will also link that like survey down below. I would really like your guys' thoughts on that, and as well if you want to help make this all happen for things that I can't do by myself. So there's probably some things that could be improved upon for sure, even for myself, that I want to see improvements, and just ideas in general. Is I don't know what people want to see. So I have an idea now from that live show, a possible theme for next year. But as far as like tropes and things like that, that's really up to you guys to really help me with that. And then if you also want to help behind the scenes, or if you want to co-host, if you're a booktuber or an Instagrammer, a bookstagrammer, and you want to co-host, that would be very great. So yeah, that's really all it was. And I'm probably having horrible thoughts on this, but this was I think what I took from this book was there's a lot of self-denial for the hero. He was really almost hurting the heroine because he was denying himself her because of their relationship, and keeping her at arm's length, and that was just so heartbreaking to read. And so if you like a tortured hero, definitely here. So yes, this was very like raw and real feeling, and this is always going to be a favorite of mine. So very scatterbrained, but that's in a nutshell this one. I think I read in total at least 5 ones. I'm not sure. Probably forgetting so much. I just want to thank everybody that, you know, this readathon, this vlog is more focused for the readathon because I was reading from my physical TBR for the readathon. but I have so many things I have to do that I have so many books that I have to like look at now, which is a great problem to have. So I'm still behind as well on getting that list for you guys as well for the 5 stars. So yes, that's coming. The Discord is still open. No one's really chatting in it, but it's still open if you want to be in there and intermosing around. That will be morphed into something differently in the interim until the next readathon. Well, I think we'll maintain it for the time, and then I'm going to actually be creating a separate Discord that will be focused around planning of the readathon for next year, and just in general, being able to chat with you guys a little bit more. That's one thing I miss about the readathon, is actually getting me to chat, besides chatting in my comments, which is so delayed, and Instagram is usually just one-on-one as well, so I like that whole group environment, getting a chat with everybody. Just focused on those, and also getting your thoughts from my channel, like the whole thing. I don't have a Patreon or anything like that because I'm just doing this for fun. I mean, maybe eventually if this hobby of mine takes off or whatever, but in the meantime, I just don't want to have to learn another app to be able to chat with you guys. So that's really, for now, I think I'll do Discord. And maybe I can do Patreon for like a free version if I can figure that out, so I can chat with you guys more. But it's hard enough as well to just do these YouTube videos as far as editing and things like that specifically. But I wouldn't do anything like that. I just don't have the bandwidth. So more of like a community chatting back and forth. Discord, I feel like, is like the best thing for me right now. That's a lot of rambling. So much rambling is being had. Yeah, I can't believe I just totally forgot to close off this vlog. This is so classic me. As I realized, like, wait, I was going to edit, and I'm like, wait a second, I don't have the clip. Okay. The only last request that I have for you guys, I'll have all those links to the videos, to the closing live show down below, and to the survey. But I will also have a separate thing, like, comment down in this video. I want your thoughts on what do you want episode 3 of HEA or history to be focused on? What theme of historical romances? This will be books that I will probably be reading in either late July or August, beginning of August. That will be the time frame I'm going to be reading. But I want your thoughts on what I should read and focus on. Is it a certain author? Is it a certain subgenre historical romance? What do you guys want to see me do? Do you just always want me to see? Do you guys don't care? You just want me to do a spinner wheel, whatnot? Because I really want to make this fun. And sometimes I get decision fatigue because I don't even know what I want to read. It's such a weird mood reader problem. Alright, well, my kids are getting ready for lunch. As always, I'll have the links in the description box below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can get notified for every time I post. And I will see you guys in the next HEA or history. Bye.